Hello everyone, this is Daniel from Rakerace.com. In this video I'm going to show you how to register to 888poker, and also we are going to take a look at the software. How does it look like? So let's begin. First of all, open the Rakerace.com website and in the top choose poker rooms. Here you have a variety of poker rooms. So we are looking for the 888 poker. There is a info card here. Click on go to the room. There are some basic information here. All that I'm going to tell you is here in a written form, or if you have any questions, you can hit the chat button and ask for help. So first of all, registration. If you have the software installed on your computer, you must delete it before starting the process, and it's recommended to do all the process in an incognito window, or if you want, you can delete the cookies from your computer. So go ahead and click on creating an account. Here, clicking on the sign up button, you are directed to the 888 website. On the top, you can see the sign up button. You have to fill in the form. I already have an account, so I'm just going to show you the steps. You need to choose a username, giving a password. And at the end, you give the details of your address and mobile number, and you hit on the submit, and you are good to go. From the main page also you can download the software by clicking on the download button. Here you have a quick review. The installation is really fast. It's going pretty straightforward. Once you are done with all this, you have to submit your sign up details to Rakerace.com. If you are logged in, you are going to see this form by clicking on the button. So you just need to provide your username and the email address used for 888poker. You click on submit button and you are connected. On 888poker there are various promotions. One of the biggest is the welcome bonus, which is 100% up to $1,000. Also there is a no deposit bonus, which comes in 3 parts after signing up in the first 14 days. And also there is a reward program. In 888poker it looks like this. You can earn the golden tokens by completing the challenges that the site offers, and these tokens can be redeemed for cash. Also you can earn up to 50% rake back depending on how much rake you make in a week. So the more rake you make, the better percentage you get as a rake back. Here you can see what type of payment options there are and what platforms you can use to play on. If you have any questions, you can find the chat button for the support or at the bottom of the page also. So when you open the 888poker software, you see the login screen. You have to type in your username and the password and simply click on login. So in the software, you're going to see after logging in where you left off. So if you are only playing tournaments and you let the software exiting on the tournament tab, you are going to open there, or if you're a cash game player, you are going to see immediately where you left off. I think it's a cool feature. You don't have to always search for your favorite games. So let's see how the menu looks like. Here in the left, you see the menu with your avatar. You can open the personal area, about your account, gaming history, if you want to deposit or withdraw money, or to see the transaction history. Also, you can see the 888 Club level and your rewards. In this bar, you can see your progress. There are buttons for challenges and rewards, which open in a separate window. This information about your account can be reached from various buttons. So here is the My Club tab. You see here your progress, the type of challenges that you can accept. If you already have points, to redeem the points for bonuses or tickets or free spins. And if you want more details, you just click on how it works and it directs you to the website with all the details. Under the tab My Rewards, you can see your active bonuses if you have one, for example, the first deposit bonus, or you can reach your tournament tickets. And in the last tab is the leaderboards. At the moment, there are leaderboards for the Blast game type. As you can see, there are buttons for reaching the tickets, leaderboards separately under here. And below that, there are the type of games. There are tables for beginners, so if you are a new player, you are going to have restricted tables just for beginners. It's going to give some edge at the beginning, and from here you just click on the game type you wish to play and it directs you immediately to the table. The next one is the Blast, which is the 300 sit and go, the flip and go, and there are other names on other sites. You can see by the amount of buy-in. There is always an info tab, so if you are not familiar with the game type, you can see a short summary about it. The next one is the Snap, which is the fast fold poker type for 888 poker, and here you can choose the type of buy-in you would wish to play. You can see the active players at the moment for each stakes. Also, you have the option to choose which limits, which stakes you want to see. Under the Hold'em tab, we have a little bit more complex option to customize what type of tables you wish to see. You can sort by stakes and also about the table size. If you want to see regular tables, push or fold tables, or snap tables. And also you can sort here by name, by stakes, and all kind of details the tables. And you can hit on play to join the table, or if the table is full, you can join the waiting list. The same is true for Omaha players. 888 Poker offers this type of PLO games. The system is the same as in the Hold'em, and there are 2 tabs for tournaments. For basic tournaments, also you have, I think, a pretty straightforward list how to customize what type of games you wish to play, you wish to see. And under the mystery bounty, the same type of custom settings you can have. Below that, there is a promotion button. I recommend you to check this for the most recent promotions that 888 Poker offers. If you click on one of them, you are directed to see all the details about that promo. One important part before we start to join to the tables is the settings, which is here on the top. And I believe that also 888 Poker offers a great variety of settings. You can choose the background color, how you wish to see the deck, what type of cards you want to see. If you want a full color deck or some regular cards. And here you can opt in for displaying the stacks in big blinds. You can choose your avatar, personalize a little bit your account. Under the game settings, you can have some hotkeys. Actually, I think it's a little bit limited in this software compared to other sites. And you can turn on automatic time banks and a wide variety of settings. Here you can change the folder where you want to save the hand history. Under the game display tab, you have also a wide variety of settings to show the best hand or about the sound effects. So before starting to play, I recommend you to check all these tabs. It takes only a few minutes. And also for the bet slider for pre-flop and post-flop. Actually, I think it's one of the best, or at least having the most options among the sites that I know. So I think it's pretty cool. And after finishing, you just hit on apply and you have your settings. So today we are going to play fast fold poker, which is snap on 888 Poker, because I believe that it's a good variant to have a lot of action and to have time for everything, to look at the table. Since the last time I played here, there is a little bit of change how the software looks like. so it's a little bit new to me too. But the buttons are at the same place as always, in the right bottom. On the left bottom, you have the options to sit out if you wish to sit out. In the right top corner, you have the buttons to add chips, to add more tables. If you hover over your opponent, this is a pretty new feature. You can see a built-in HUD with some basic details. The cool thing about 888 Poker that they allow to use your own softwares. So if you have a poker tracker, hand to note, then you can have your own HUD as well. Here it's a pretty interesting hand. Blind versus blind with defend, and I tried a race on this paired board, and we got 3-betted, which is quite unusual. So I would assume that it's going to be like really 9x heavy. And we have pretty good equity to develop, and also the option to bluff. So I try to size in this hand in a way to put max pressure on my opponent. And he shows 8-6. Pretty interesting hand. I think it's a really good promo for the room if you face an opponent with this type of hand. I think the software is really easy to use. It's really fast. I don't see any problem of lagging or any of that nature. Now you have this common feature, like in other rooms, of these throwable items. And also you can communicate by these emojis. So all in all, I think it's an easy to use software. They pay attention to the graphics. And this type of boards, we could bet big or to check with a potential check raise, for example. And now that we had a check back, I'm going to attack with an overbet. For example, this, we have to wait a little bit longer than on other sides. It's due to the fact that I'm playing from a time zone and at a time that it's really late. or really early in the morning in Europe. So that's why we have to wait for the players. There are not enough players to immediately receive the other or the next table. After checking the flop and betting this, it could be like 9x, like a bunch of weak hands. I think we can call one, and I'm not sure if we are going to see a bluff from our opponent. So maybe it could be lead on the river. He checked back. We can see the hand history by clicking on that button, and we can see that he actually had a 9x hand. Here blind versus blind. I like to range bet boards that in theory shouldn't be range betted, since in low stakes even the regulars won't raise enough, and also they are going to overfold. So on dry looking boards, I think it's a pretty good strategy. We have pocket aces here. And the big blind calls. Also, you can go two ways. I think it's higher EV not to range bet this board, but to go for a 2/3 or 3/4 pot size. To don't have this much time to wait, I'm going to look for another limit and potentially to have two tables. Let's see how to divide the screen. We face a 3-bet, a pretty big one. I think the best option is to call, and we flop the top pair, and we face a half pot size, which I think is the best size to use. And the turn changes a lot. Our hand is not so good, but I think a small bet works pretty well, especially if we don't expect to get raised and we don't plan to call on the river. And I'm not sure if we have enough showdown value here, but also this hand is not a good candidate to bluff, so I'm going to check back. And our opponent had a set. So let's see another limit. Maybe they have more players. And let's try. Playing on two tables. So we can tile or cascaded tables. Both flops are pretty bad. so we are going to give up. Now it gets a little bit more interesting. I think the best way is to raise against this type of bets. And we are planning to check back the river. This can be like really a wide variety of hands. Sometimes we have a value beater. Unfortunately, our opponent reversed the 2-pair. Here we have ace-10 suited on the button. I'm going to play that hand, but there is no action. Again, a pretty good hand on the button is queen suited. Unfortunately, no action either. So even though I chose another limit where there are more players, there are like only 2 or 3 tables running at the moment. What I think about the player pool in general, that is really like the average. The smaller the stakes, the worse the players are, of course. On micro stakes, you can climb up the ladder really fast because your opponents are going to make like really huge mistakes and blunders. And from like NL100, NL200, you are going to face much better opponents. And of course, less recreational players and more regular players in general. After a bunch of folding, I'm going to try to isolate this hand. It's a little bit loose. And we get 2 calls. And we face a donk bet. The stack depth is not really helping us here. We have some backdoors. Probably it's a bit early to fold. In heads up I would call. In 3-way I prefer to fold just in case if the other player jams. We burn a lot of money by calling. So basically I would use a strategy to open wide, be aggressive post flop, and just to play a solid game. That turn card is really awful for our hand. And I don't think we need to defend against the flop donk bet and this bet. I think it's pretty underbluffed. Here we have king queen suited. We are going to isolate a limper. Again, a pretty good hand on the button. We're going to 3-bet. Here we have a multi-way pot. We can go either way. Our opponents are short stack. If we hit top pair, I think we are good. Here we have a monotone board. I'm going to try a small c-bet. It worked. We are heads up. Now we pick up some equity. I would hate to face a check raise on the turn now. So I think we have the option, or at least to consider, to check back sometimes. And we get there on the river. We have the nuts, which is always sweet. In small stakes, it's not so necessary to protect your check back ranges. But if you face aggressive opponents or those who are dong betting, then you need to consider a play like this too. Again, we have an ace queen off, and there is a lot of limping going around here. I think that is also a good sign that you are in a pool, that there are many recreationals, as you can see, with a lot of players with stacks under 100 BB. It's a pretty interesting flop. I think I like to see bet more, and especially that the stack depth is low. We got check raised. In this stack depth we don't have other options than to go all in. And we are good against another top pair. Here I think it's better to continue with the aggression. The other player could have a lot of weaker hands to continue. Also, if you pick up some notes by hovering over the opponents, you can open the player notes, add some notes, color code the player type if you wish. So as I mentioned, I prefer to open wider and be more aggressive pre-flop. But if you have a lot of players with short stacks, also you need to consider, for example, with this 8-7 suited, not to open it. High cards tend to play better when the stack depth is lower. We face an all-in and then call. I think we don't need to call with the nines here. So I suggest to don't play like an autopilot mode. Always take into consideration who are your opponents. If they are unknown, for example, like in this situation, try to stick to basic principles. What you assume about the pool mostly is going to be true for the players. So I think let's wait another hand and we wrap this video up. For example, in 100 pp, this would be like a good pre-flop call on the button. I tried to steal the pot on the turn, but we got a call. We don't have showdown, but also I don't see that the players fold a lot, especially if they have an ace high here. So probably this size is not so good. Okay, so with these pocket aces, I think we are going to close the video. We have an under the gun opener, 2 cold callers. So our job is to 3-bet big. There is one call with this stack depth and on this kind of flop structure. I think the best way is to check. We didn't induce any bluffs. Now it's double flush draw, really connected. I think the best is to jam here. Unfortunately, we let our opponent to get there. But don't be too result oriented. I think the flop strategy works pretty well. So guys, this is the 888 poker. As you could see, there are many big players. I think the software is easy to use. The graphics, it's really good. It's really nice. So I think it's an environment that it's good to play. I recommend that you check it out and see the actual promos that are running. And I hope to see you at the tables. So good luck, guys.